Two things I wanted to address. First, a reminder to everyone, we are in that season of OCPS Gives campaign. Hope folks will consider worthy entities you might contribute to, including our OCPS Foundation, United Way, and others. Secondly, I wanted to speak briefly regarding some social media activity around a teacher who resigned from one of our schools. I have a breakfast meeting coming up with Wendy Dormel so that we can discuss it. I've actually spoken to her on the phone as well, since it generated some social media attention. I've also emailed another individual and invited them to come and discuss their concerns with me. While it would seem fair to hear both sides of the story, that really doesn't matter. It's not important. We don't want to lose a single good teacher from our district. That is what matters. I think we can also use the feedback to help us improve organizationally around issues of concern. What I like for getting that feedback are our randomly selected teacher roundtables, because they do not focus on any specific group of teachers, but a random sampling of nearly 15,000 teachers. So we will be increasing those roundtables, waiting on new board members before we start those up. Area superintendents have already started theirs. They are going to be addressing and focusing on some of the concerns that were mentioned as well. And area superintendents have done roundtables in the past. We will continue, increase, and focus some of those areas. We think it's a more accurate way to get a general picture of how our teachers feel about certain topics when you take random samples among the 15,000. We're looking into issues around accountability and professional development. We have to remain focused on student success, which is based on the current state system. And that state system is high stakes. And so we have to remain focused on student success, but can't get to student success if you don't focus on teacher success as well. High-performing districts, research is clear, focus on centralized curriculum, centralized assessment, and centralized professional development. Large urban districts, because they have mobility. Sounds like my mic went out. Because they have to focus on mobility and significant student and family needs. And so we've tried to focus there as well. Nonetheless, we need to be sensitive in how we help both teachers and students succeed. I heard one comment that 20 years ago we did not require as much of teachers, and I reminded them 20 years ago we had less than a 50% graduation rate. And so you have to remember, times have changed and the stakes are high both for our children and for our students. So we're going to work on, again, a balance between helping students and teachers succeed. I sent my quarterly email video message to teachers this afternoon. I wanted to read it to you briefly, just so, and you have a copy as well. But here is the actual script. Can you believe we've started our second grading period for this school year? I want to thank you for all that you do for the children we serve. Their success is the core of our business, and we recognize that you are the key to that success. Here are a few points I want to make. First, thank you for being a safe haven for our students. You're making a profound difference as you continue to give the message that they can come to you if they ever have a problem, and that you will get them to the help they need. Second, let's continue to help students realize that passion and perseverance can make the difference for their success. Hard work can actually help students get smarter due to the nature of the brain. So that grit, passion, and perseverance is what we want them to have. Here's an interesting fact. Research strongly indicates that students perform at higher levels when a teacher gives simple feedback along the lines of, I have great expectation for you and I know you can accomplish them. You see, what the research actually showed was a handwritten note on a student essay that simply said, I know you can do better, resulted in much higher performance by students. As you've guessed by now, my quarterly message was going to be more than talking about a teacher's resignation. I wanted to give them additional information as well. Thirdly, nothing has significantly changed in our current state accountability system and pay for performance requirements. Students can be retained or fail to graduate based on standardized test results. Schools are still labeled with a single letter grade regardless of our advocacy to end that system, and teachers and principals still have their employment and pay raises based upon student outcomes. It's important to stress teachers and principals. Until such time that we're able to impact those laws, we remain committed to helping you succeed and keeping Orange County as the place for teachers to work in Florida. Last year, 99.6% of our teachers received highly effective or effective evaluation ratings, making them eligible to receive state-mandated performance pay raises. Let me assure you that we are always striving to meet your needs. Improved teacher retention rates might indicate that we are moving in the right direction. Number 4, I want to thank you for working collaboratively in your professional learning communities at school. Remember, last year we decreased PLCs from 3 required to just 1 per week, except for schools with great student needs. Essentially, that is 1 out of up to 10 planning times. When teachers come together to problem solve and develop lessons, the outcomes for students are positive. PLCs also help prevent a sense of isolation for many teachers and help spread best practices. Just as you help students enjoy coming to school every day, we have challenged principals to help teachers enjoy coming to work through collaboration and much more. The job can be tough, but the rewards are significant. Lastly, as the holiday season approaches, remember the school board agreed to provide every employee with a bonus in January. Stay tuned for news, as that bonus may actually be increased. We've been fortunate to work with dedicated school board members. As several prepare to leave us next month, I must tell you they have always had a heart for our students and supported teachers. Thank you again for all you do for our 213,000 students every day in every classroom.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. I think the message is excellent. I really do. But I do think also, just from one school board member's perspective, I think maybe going forward, the less focus put on this issue, the better. Because I think that we're, and I don't think I'm naive about this, I think we're hitting on all cylinders right now within the constraints of what we're required to do by state law and what we're required to do by federal law. And while I realize the platform that it was published in is a high-profile platform, I don't want to give it any more attention than I think perhaps than it warrants. So just my perspective. I hadn't said that to you before, but I didn't know that that was in your message. And I do think the message is excellent. But I just don't want to perpetuate one teacher out of 13,000, 14,000 teachers' perspective. Mr. Rodriguez, any